All right.
Oh.
It's 11 o'clock somewhere, so let's go with this. I'm gonna call the meeting to order. Becky, would you do roll call, please?
I sure will. Bob Olson,
Yep.
Tom Kitson,
Present.
Jack Scrogstead,
Here.
Mike Copine,
Here.
Mike Zeman,
Here.
Jim Sheeline.
Here.
Tom Wilson.
Here.
Nancy Naylor.
Present.
and Dean Creel.
Here.
Thank you.
All right, we'll go around the room. Start, Jason, do you got anything you want to share with us?
You have on the agenda the tax credit.
Yep. Shelley, you want to talk to us about the 911 ball or wall? Yep. We don't have it on the agenda, so this will be a good time. Unless you had something else you want to share too, but,
It is now, correct?
okay.
Okay. I have to pull it closer. How am I gonna read? Uh, Thank you. I've been asked to come to this meeting to speak about the infamous wall between the jail and the 911 center. We had a very brief meeting last week. I spoke with Chairman Olson as well as Property Chairman Wilson and Jeremy. And just give a little bit of a background. Most of you, I think, are familiar with what's going on with the walls crumbling down, literally. And this has probably been a 2-year process, I think, that we've
Yeah.
been talking about it. And we were going to try to see if we could split it 50-50, cause some issues with the snow removal and so forth in and out. The 911 ETSA legislation and ETSA's Emergency Telephone Systems Act is extremely strict and very specific about what 911 surcharge funds can be used for. And having said that, as well as building, purchase, or acquiring property from an ETSB. And just to kind of highlight where I'm going with this is over the course of the 2 years, I said, well, if it's part of our property, we could probably maybe split it. It's not really an allowable use of surcharge, et cetera, et cetera. I've gone through proper channels, went through not only legal as far as the Illinois NENA attorney and talking to the statewide administrator, excuse me, as far as utilizing funds to pay for the wall. Excuse me. Long story short, it is not an appropriate use of funds. And part of the reason for that, even if the county would bid us or deed us that property, as of 2006, legislation is very clear. There was carve-out language put into the ETSA, and I'll read it just verbatim. The purchase of real property if the purchase is made before March 16th, 2006. I would like to point out that was when Senator Bivens was a senator, and the real idea is the state of Illinois does not want ETSBs to own real property. If we purchased it prior to 2006, then we were eligible to do so. Tom, did I say something funny? I don't even
My chair just dropped about a foot. I feared he had something to do with it. I'm sorry. No.
It should be mine.
Yes,
right?
yes.
Okay.
I don't mean to interrupt you. So go ahead.
So even if the county were to deed us that property, we can't accept it. We are not to own real property unless it was purchased prior to 2006. Now, the only way we are one of 2 in the state of Illinois that own their buildings. And it was because that it was acquired before 2026. Not to mention the allowable use of funds. They are extremely frugal on. I have to fill out what's called an AFR, annual financial filing with the state police. And if we spend funds that are not allowable per the legislation, and it's 750 ILCS, then we can have our funds and our surcharge kept. They can not pay us our monthly surcharge fee. Again, we wanted to work this out. The ETSB was more than willing to try to pay for it. Legally, legislatively, we cannot. Where that leaves us, I don't know. I'm hoping the county will do the right thing here and repair the wall. Make it so that's usable for all of us. I do appreciate the working relationship that we've had with the county. And just to go back a little bit more, this information was in the May ETSB minutes that was also included in your county board agenda packet. So all of that information was provided. We've been discussing it and talking about it. And unfortunately, I mean, we've had surcharge withheld from PSAPs in the state of Illinois because they bought their 911 telecommunicator a $25 plaque. That's not an allowable use. So they withhold their surcharge until they pay back that $25. That's how nickel and diming ridiculous it is. It's not our choice. The ETSB really did want to work with the county on this, but unfortunately, it is outside of our scope of what we can use our surcharge funds for. If there's any other questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
Mr. Sheeline?
Yeah, Shelley, so typical if they're leasing the property, there has to be, there's a lease arrangement, there's a lease contract, and what if we contracted the parking lot? What if we leased the parking lot to you?
We don't want it. I mean.
Well, I understand, I understand, but it would be, it could be a temporary
guess-
thing that I'm just asking, I'm just, you know, because I don't want to get you guys in trouble in any way, but if there is a way within the statute that doesn't trigger issues.
Well, let me
then-
read to you.
Yeah.
Here, within the statute, it is except otherwise provided in the act, and it is in the FCC rules and regulations too. Support and implementation of 911 services, operational expenses of public safety answering point within the state, and examples of allowable expenditures include PSAP operating, I mean, I could go on and on.
Shelley, isn't there a criteria upon date of ownership for real property as well, though?
Yes, the date of ownership is 2006, but if we leased that parking lot, it's not for PSAP operational costs.
Mm.
I mean, I think that would be a far stretch. I'm having a hard time.
Okay.
I'm going to have to, for lack of a better term, provide, I don't want to use that, justification is for us to put a new roof on our
Well, how
building.
are they-
Because roofing technically, if we didn't own the property, we shouldn't have to roof it. We do own the property and they're probably going to ding me on that. Because
Wow.
they don't like the fact that ETSBs own property. We can't even own vehicles anymore. It has to be leased and it doesn't make sense. But the state and the legislators unfortunately dictate how our surcharge funds are being used. And I guess what I would further add is that the ETSB, I think, has been very good stewards with the county as far as helping. Like, we don't technically have to pay for 911 telecommunications costs. A lot of ETSBs throughout the state, if they're not their telecommunicators, then they don't pay for any of their services or salaries because they're sheriff's department employees or police department employees. The ETSB pays quite, I think, a fair amount based on the percentage of 911 calls to the county for ETSB salaries, training, overtime, et cetera, as well as GIS services. We're trying to help out in other ways to pay for GIS services, which we are not mandated to, but that's a service that we can pay for because GIS is integral to next generation 911 and the furtherance of public safety.
Mm.
And I mean, with all due respect, for us to lease or purchase that parking lot really isn't a 911 PSAP operational expense.
Yeah.
However, I do know, and I realize that you're all looking at our funds saying, you guys have $1 million sitting in your bank. We do. When we purchase a next generation 911 system or upgrade or upkeep, and for the cost, we just spent $1.2 million to help the Sheriff's Department and Dixon Police Department to acquire an operating system for the jail, which they are paying a certain portion of that, but we maintain that. We do the project management for all of the software that's used by the Sheriff's Department, as well as Dixon Police and 911. So I think we have a pretty good working relationship, and I don't want by any means make that.
Well, we don't want to jeopardize your guys' standing and cause you to incur costs that
Sure.
doesn't help the cause at all, because I completely agree, Shelley.
And I
You
appreciate
guys, we've had a great working relationship. So that's
I
not the issue.
appreciate that.
It's just I was trying to think, okay, because I
Yeah.
know the state loves leases. I have no idea why.
Absolutely,
but
right. It
that's-
would make more
that's their
sense to
thing.
just buy it
So,
outright, right? I
yeah.
mean, and unfortunately, I've
Very good.
gone through every avenue I can think of to help try to mitigate the situation, and we just cannot use our surcharge funds
Yep.
to pay for that.
Okay.
Any more questions or comments? I asked her to come in and explain that because we're gonna end up fixing the wall. And I think Eric's got a plan that they're gonna do most of the work themselves. And I think it will be less than what we anticipated anyhow. So
And I did volunteer to put on my work gloves and lift some weights, so I can help with some of the manual labor if needed.
we'll hold you to that.
Okay,
All
all right.
right. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for coming in. Keen, you got anything you want to share?
No, sir.
All right, Sheriff?
No, sir.
Reed?
Nope.
Nancy? All right. We'll move on then. Has everybody had a chance to look at the minutes? Is there any changes or corrections? We'll let them stand as presented then. We'll start with reports of committees. Mr. Zeman?
Claims Committee, thank you, Mr. Chairman. 2 meetings to report on, November 19th, 9 a.m. We went through 46 claims. 1 was added, we rejected 1, so a total of 46 were forwarded to the county board for approval. December 3rd, 9 o'clock. We went through 52 and on all 52 were forwarded to the county board. And that's it.
Questions for Mr. Zeman? Thanks, Mike. County Services, Mr. Scrogstad.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. County Services met last Tuesday. We had several action items that'll be coming to the full board for consideration. And one of those action items is another battery storage moratorium. You're thinking another battery storage moratorium. Recently, the state had changed again on how we do business here in Lee County or throughout the state. And one of them is battery storage, or now it's going to be called energy storage. And so Alice is working with those changes that the state has made and then what we'll work with in Lee County. And she's changing it to energy storage. Energy storage system. Yeah, I know. And so she'll make the changes that will work for Lee County. So those are some of the highlights of our meeting.
Any questions? Thanks, Jack. Mr. Gopine, Public Safety.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I was absent from the meeting and I asked Mr. Hudson if he would take the charge of the meeting, so I'm going to turn it over to him to give the report.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. It was a short meeting as many of the department heads were unable to attend their obligations, and some did submit some reports, detailed reports, and some were not able to, but some of the department heads that were present did submit a detailed report and obviously provide a detailed report and information, which all reports and information are in the minutes.
Questions or comments? Thanks, Keem.
Thank you.
We'll go to Facilities Maintenance, Mr. Frio.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We met Tuesday, December 9th at 3 o'clock. Maintenance Department went through their report. You'll find it in your computers. The final design for the wall out in front will hopefully be in for January for discussion. Building official gave his report. They're in the process of getting the fee structure set for future building permit fees. So that'll be coming along here real soon. So anybody else have any questions on anything?
Questions or comments? Thanks, Dean.
Thank you.
Mr. Sheeline, Finance.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The Finance Committee met this morning and we had our year ends and they were fun to go through the year ends. Not a normal thing. A lot of times that can be painful, but not this time. Reed and Paul did a great job in presenting the financials this month. The main highlights that really you have to dig through to get into them. We didn't do 2 transfers or fully. So our revenues were strong enough that we didn't have to make full transfer that we had budgeted out of solid waste, and we also didn't have to take the one out of capital. That's really good news, and that was really positive part. If you look at the financials at the end, and Reed, there's any comments Reed wants to make in this, because I think it's important. But we ended up showing an $1,800 to the good in our end of year numbers. So Reed, do you want to make any more further comments?
Yeah, and I guess just to elaborate on those transfers, right? We had budgeted, I think, 300,000 for capital, which we did not need to have in any way. And it was either 200,000 or 250,000 from solid waste. And I believe we only used $67,000 of that transfer. So items we can keep in those funds, keep earning interest on, so.
And so, to relate that to the budget that we just passed, hopefully those transfers that we utilize to show a positive budget that we're required to do, hopefully we'll have positive numbers as we go through to be able to do the same thing. So
Seems like
Chairman.
that sales tax is carrying us unbelievable. I don't know if that's new construction going on with sales, you think, or what's carrying that?
Expansion of the sales tax numbers continue to be strong. In fact, the report, if you want to comment, Reed, in regards to the first report in the sales tax numbers.
I guess to address the sales tax numbers, it looks like to me in the data that when they reevaluated use tax, that was basically about the time when we started to, I mean, sales tax was going up, but to see kind of a jump outside of just normal increases. So I think part of it's there. So if you are diving down in the details, you'll see that, you know, use tax is down, but sales tax is up in all of those areas. For the numbers that we received already for December from the state, sales tax continues to be strong. What was a bit surprising was income tax. Not that it was not going to be up, but it was up more than I guess I thought it would be. And also personal property replacement tax came in almost 3 times higher than it did at the same time last year. So, you know, maybe not something that we want to get our hopes up too much yet, but that was a pretty surprising number when the state released it. So,
You know, and go along with Reed, personal property, if you track that, you know, through your financial reports, it's like this.
It don't make sense.
It makes zero sense.
Yeah.
So having an anomaly, you know, we could have that 3 times, you know, last year, you know, comparison.
Yeah.
And the next payout could be practically zero, you know, or
I-
really low.
yeah,
it's,
so I
you know.
did, that was something I wanted to evaluate. And so I did graph it over the last 5 years. What is interesting is that, yes, it goes like this all year long, but those data points are relatively consistent year over year. So like if this December month is up in a particular year,
That carries
the whole
through?
year, yeah, the whole year carries through that way. The lines are going like this, but they're not crossing each other.
Okay.
So like if one is up, it kind of stays up most of the year. So I think there was maybe 1 year where that was not the case, where like it kind of just kept shooting up, shooting up, shooting up. And that was 2023, where we did receive quite a bit of personal property replacements. But yeah, so if the numbers continue to stay consistent with previous years, I would say there's a decent chance that we might get a little bit more in PPRT this year.
So the word is conservative optimism.
Yes.
There you go. Any questions regards to financials?
Any questions or comments?
Then we've got, we did for our action items, we had the, information item that I want to mention is, and it's important to mention this. We had the year-end report for ARPA. And Sarah, and please, I really encourage everybody to look at the, be in your resources folder, but it's the year-end report for ARPA, and Sarah and Patty really did a nice job of going through and really laying out how ARPA, in a very simple format, the projects that we approved, where the money went and all that. Very well done. I'm really proud of the job that this body did in regards to how we handled the ARPA dollars, and also the job that Sarah and Patty did. So please take a look at that. And I think that's something that whether it's this month, next month, at some point in time, maybe at the closeout of the ARPA, we need to go through that because people need to see what we did and how we did it.
Absolutely.
So anyway, and then I've got, for an action item, we have resolution to include compensation paid under the IRC section. Now, this was what we had talked about. This is the change in how the IMRF deductions are in regards to health insurance. If you want to, I always get that.
Different. I can step in. So IMRF currently for us calculates our employees' reportable wages as gross wages minus any premiums paid for health insurance. So we're not the way things have evolved over time, it's almost like people that are on our health insurance are being penalized and not receiving the same type of pension value that those that are not on our health insurance would get. So the IMRF has, I think, the rules have just evolved over time from like the 70s, and this is just some lingering piece. IMRF must experience this often enough that they've created a pre-populated resolution where for people to make this adjustment. So what we're proposing is to have our employees' pension amounts, their reportable wages based off their gross wages. In essence, what that will do is allow our employees to have a higher reportable wage. They will contribute a little bit more. The county will contribute a little bit more. The value, I think, that we calculated was roughly a little less than $3,000 a month. It is budgeted in our FY26 budget already. So any questions on what that's doing, feel free.
Yeah, so what?
No, I'll talk to you about it later.
Okay, all right. So anyway, that resolution is included and we asked that be included in this month's agenda. Then we've got some housekeeping. We got 2 housekeeping items in regards to the grants and how that's reported. We did some budget adjustments last month. And this is, again, it's the way we handle the grant funding that comes into the various departments. This one's the sheriff's office and the judges. And this enables, it kind of moves that grant revenue from a separate item that has to be footnoted within the audit reports. It moves that into the general, so doesn't have to have so it's more of a housekeeping thing for Reed. So
That's a resolution?
and there's 2 budget adjustment resolutions, one for the sheriff's department and the other for the judges. And that needs to be included in this month's agenda.
All right.
And I think that's all I've got.
Questions, comments? Thanks, Jim. Mr. Kitson asked me if he could give a report, so go ahead.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. The other evening, just recently at Sauk Valley College, I had the opportunity to have a meeting with UCCI. They held the meeting here and happy to report we had 10 board members. Our zoning office was there and several other employees of the county or people on committees. I think there was 27 people there from 3 or 4 counties, people from Will County and Ogle County, Henry County. It was a very good program on solar and wind, battery storage. Gentleman presented at Galena for any of you that might have been up there. But it was a very, very good program, and thank you, CCI, for reaching out and coming out to areas like this for us.
I thought it was very informative. Didn't you guys attended?
Yeah.
Yeah. UCCI continues to do great things for county boards, so thanks, Tom. We'll move on. We got the monthly sheriff's office report, detailing events within the department. It's in your onboard just for informational only. Jeremy, you got anything you want to share?
Just a comment, as we turn, to the new fiscal year, I want to thank everybody from department heads to staff to board members. We continue to do excellent work here. I've seen a lot of progress in continuing to move the county forward from a cultural perspective to team collaboration and to unifying the county operations. So I want to thank everybody for that. It's been a fun couple of years and looking forward to a lot more work here in the future. So thank you.
Thank you. All right, we'll move on to, I have no unfinished business before us, so we'll go to new business. Comprehensive noxious weed work program. It's required by the Department of Ag. Is there a motion to move the 2026 comprehensive noxious weed work plan to the December County Board agenda? Nancy moves, Tom seconds it. Any discussion? All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. So we'll move on to, right now we got, Mr. Anderson talked about this resolution. It's a resolution authorizing an advisory. We didn't get this on the agenda in time, so we're just gonna discuss it here, go from there. Jason, would you like to explain what we were doing?
So this was brought to my attention by Tom Demmer, who stays on top of things that go on in Springfield or goes on all over the country. This is a tax credit that would be allowed that if the governor will permit it, it's under the big beautiful bill, that individuals can give up to $1,700 per year. So in a family of 2, a couple could give $3,400 to local schools for scholarships, for help for underprivileged children. It's money that you can put towards local schools, primarily schools, And it reduces dollar for dollar your federal income tax requirement. So you can literally take $3,400 per couple off of your taxes and give it to a school. And this is if I'm not mistaken, and is Jeremy still here? Yes, there he is over there. I thought this had to be on the ballot.
It doesn't necessarily have to be on the ballot. So what we're doing is the reason why this is here and in talking with Tom, we're trying to get public opinion on it. So essentially what we're asking for is it to be on the ballot as an advisory referendum.
Right, right.
Get public opinion, because that has a little bit more weight with the governor's office. The county board has every right to just pass a support resolution in support of this the federal tax credit, but and many of the other counties throughout the state are putting this on the ballot as an advisory referendum to get public opinion.
Yeah. And so the point is there's no downside to this except that the federal government gets a little less of your money.
Sure.
But that money stays local. So, and it has, and I think, in looking at all the counties, townships, all those that are supporting this in the upcoming election, there's 3 million people that are basically represented by supporting these resolutions as an advisory thing. And I guess the governor has up to the end of the year to approve it, and these would take effect in 2027, the opportunity for the tax credits. So really a positive thing for.
So the counties still have to approve it though, right? If the governor approves it? the
No.
county-
No,
Okay.
no, once the governor approves it, then it'll go into effect. And it'll be something that I would hope would be very well promoted, in our
Sure.
county, maybe have some responsibility
Oh,
there
it's
to promote it.
Awesome program. You could. put
So
your money
that,
where you want.
I mean, it could be infusions of tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars into the local schools, both private and public.
I like it. All right.
And a thing to keep in mind is that if the state does not opt in, we are not eligible to receive those benefits. Those SGOs are still going to be around, and those dollars are going to go elsewhere. So
Yeah.
that's what we're looking for.
All right. And we'll put that on the agenda for next Thursday, correct? All right. Thanks, Jason.
Mhm.
I got 3 appointments on the agenda this month: Dana Considine, Henry Gertis, for the Lee County Sheriff's Merit Commission Board, and Arlen Barjami as Commissioner of, do you like to pronounce that for me? Or?
Bajrami.
Okay, thank you. Would entertain a motion to move, I'd like a motion to do all the 3 appointments at once. Mr. Wilson moves, Mr. Kitson seconds it. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. So now we're going to move all 3 to the December County Board agenda. Do I have a motion for that? Mr. Kitson and Nancy seconds it. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Thank you. We have no raffle reports, and there's a DM report in there for your information only. I have no executive session. So let's move to the county board agenda items. Starting with that, Nancy, if you're ready, we're going to go down A through, I guess we'll go down to zoning, all of them in front. So we'll go to H zoning.
Hey,
Well,
Bob, do we want to do that resolution for
Yeah.
Kevin Alley first?
Yes, I'm sorry.
So Bob, that would be inserted between F and G would be where I would swear in Kevin.
Okay, yes, I forgot about that. Thank you, Becky, for reminding me.
You're welcome.
Oh, you had it written down, I forgot.
And I don't think the rest of the committee knows either.
Knows what, it's what the Republican committee come up with Jennifer's replacement. Nancy has run it.
The Lee County Republican Executive Committee unanimously recommended that Jennifer Dallas's replacement on the county board be filled by Kevin Lally. So we have brought that to Bob.
Awesome, an awesome choice. So we'll put that on there. We'll get him sworn in. And let's go back. We got no Joseph Meyer resolutions. Do we even need that on the agenda, or you just use that as a placeholder?
It's a placeholder.
Okay. Zoning, you got, looks like monthly report minutes, the petitions, you got 3 petitions from the zoning hearing officer. We have petitions coming from planning, none. The administrator monthly update. I don't know if we need that or not. What do you guys think? Just joking. All right. Board member comments, public comments. The county organizations, we have none. Be a quick meeting. Then we always have the reports of the committee. Okay, so we got unfinished business. We got this ordinance 25-PC-80. That's the famous chicken ordinance. We're gonna go with it as it was presented last month, and we'll have to hold that over. You good with that? All right. So we'll go to new business. We've got a couple things, appropriation resolution for the Brooklyn Road, the joint funded agreement. Resolution for energy storage systems moratorium. The resolution for include compensation paid under IRC section 125 plan as the IMRF earnings. That's what we talked about earlier. The budget adjustments for the judges and the sheriff, right?
Okay,
And-
I have a question on that, Bob. Are those resolutions like Jim Sheeline said, or the budget adjustments for the judge and the sheriff's office?
I don't think they are they? Ruth?
Okay, I just wanted clarification on that.
So what are they then? What,
I thought they were budget adjustment resolutions. Isn't that the proper term?
Jeremy? Okay.
What they are. I mean, they're just budget adjustment requests. They're not an actual resolution going through.
So
So,
do we have to have them at the county board? approval?
because the county board has to approve the amendment.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Thank you.
Thanks, Jeremy. And then we have the comprehensive noxious weed work plan. I don't know, is that a? Okay, all right,
That's a state filed report every year.
all right, yep. I just was reading some notes. The appointments we just talked about. Dana
Sorry,
Hendricks.
Bob. Sorry, back up. Then
Okay.
number 7 would be the resolution that Jason Anderson was talking about. So we would add that under new business.
Yep, all right. Perfect.
Good
Anything
thing
else?
you're here, Nancy.
I know. Anything else we forgot? Everything.
I think that's it.
All right. Okay, the 3 appointments. Executive session, we'll leave that on there. The approval of the rest is all boilerplate. Any changes or corrections? Everybody all right with that? I need a motion to approve the proposed county board. Mr. Kitson moves, Mr. Wilson seconds it. Any discussion? If none, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion is carried. I need a motion to adjourn the meeting. Mr. Wilson. Mr. Skrockstead. All those in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Always get the book.